We show you a stat and we'll tell you if it continues this week. We're going to go to Jared Goff. He's been excellent against the blitz this season, particularly when a defensive back blitzes, as Goff ranks top 5 in the NFL in completion percentage, yards per attempt, and QBR on those plays when the DBs bring in the blitz. On Sunday, Goff faces a Vikings defense that has blitzed a defensive back on 26% of dropbacks by opposing quarterbacks, the highest rate in the NFL. So, RC, will Goff continue this success against the Vikings D?
Listen, I don't think he'll be as good as we've seen him throughout this year. The Minnesota Vikings are one of the best blitzing teams in all of the leagues and league. And Brian Flores has understood when and when not to call it, when not to bring the pressure and find ways to drop 7 or 8 to the backfield. I think what they've been able to do is find the perfect mix. And so Jared Goff is going to have to lean on the run of David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs to protect him against this Brian Flores-led defense, which I think is one of the best in the league when it comes to bringing added pressure.
Now to Tampa Bay, where Baker Mayfield is coming off an impressive performance against the Packers, particularly on third down, where he threw for 135 yards and 2 touchdowns. Mayfield ranks in the top 10 of the NFL in touchdowns, yards per attempt, and QBR on third down. He's one of 3 quarterbacks to rank top 10 in all of those categories, along with Patrick Mahomes and Dak Prescott, a couple greats in the game right now. Dan, what's been the key to Mayfield's success on third down?
1, Mike Evans, 2, Chris Godwin, and never putting them on the same side. So often they'll put Mike Evans on one side of the field and Chris Godwin on the other side of the field. Mike's up top. Green Bay rolls to essentially play 2 over 1 over Mike Evans. Chris Godwin has such tremendous feel in the middle of the field. Now, this is structurally god-awful coverage by the Green Bay Packers, but this wasn't the only time. Mike Evans, again, in the slot. How's Green Bay going to play it? They're going to, again, cloud over the top of him at the bottom of the screen. Then Chris now has a little bit more room to make sure that his zone feel is exactly what Baker Mayfield needs. Baker stares to Mike. Okay, Mike, you get double-teamed, essentially. Then you replace with Chris. Again, the aspect of putting both of those guys on separate sides of the football is everything. Mike up top, Chris in the slot once again. Now, if Mike was one-on-one, Baker would throw him the football more than likely 9.5 out of 10 times. This time, the safety's going to roll over the top. Everybody at home should know where the ball is going to go right now. It's to Chris Godwin. But he has to have the great feel in the middle of the field, in between those hashes of when to sit down and when to come back to the football. That's the main reason why is Mike Evans has continued to be a Hall of Fame type of performer, and Chris Godwin opposite him forces defense to make decisions, and then Chris's feel and smarts allows that connection on third down with Baker Mayfield to be pristine.
We haven't talked enough about the Bucs, probably. They
Absolutely.
are forcing us to talk about them, and those guys are going to get some love if they continue to have the success.